Hey Big Geeks, my name is Kelly Dell and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path located in Forest City, North Carolina. Today I'm going to teach you a great new project, and I felt that with the economy the way it is, Christmas is just a few months away, and even though it's October, I wanted to start using this time to show you guys how to make some really fun and expensive Christmas gifts that people can wear all year round. So come on and let's get started. Okay, so for today's project, I'm going to be teaching you how to make these beautiful hoop-style earrings that can be done with using different sizes of beads, different shapes of beads, the whole 9 yards. So for these earrings, you're going to need 2 colors of a size 11 seed bead. One would be considered your color A, the other one can be considered your color B. You're going to need a size 8 seed bead, and you're going to need 12 6mm bicones and 12 4mm bicones. Now on these original earrings that you're looking at now, I used little 6mm rondelles and they worked out just as pretty. You could use 6mm rounds, you could use gemstones, whatever you wanted to. These are just the basic materials. You're also going to need 2 wire hoop forms, approximately a 1/2 inch to 1 inch big. And then you're going to need a needle with fire line. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you start to make the earpiece is, on my wire, it actually has my little piece sticking up right here. So I'm going to take a pair of flat pliers and I'm just going to bend that down so that it's flat. Now, one thing that I did forget to tell you about just a second ago is this great little product, and I know you can't see it, especially on the mat or in my fingers, but this little thing right here is called a bead bumper. It is by the Bead Company, and basically it's just a little stretchy ring. Now this ring will be invaluable to you for this project. So you want to thread one of the rings on, and it does take a little maneuvering because it's like putting a tight rubber band over something. So you want to thread it and go almost to the other end. Then we'll thread on 20 size 8 seed beads. Okay, and then once you get your 20 on there, you'll want to recount to make sure you have the 20, because if not, it will mess up your project. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now once I have my 20, I'm going to go ahead and thread my little bead bumper on. And bring it down to meet my beads. Now at this point, I'll take my flat pliers again, and I'm going to grab a hold of the straight end, and I'm going to bend it straight up and go ahead and hook it into that circle. That way my beads, even with the bead bumper on, will not fall off. Now, on the side that has your loop here, you're going to take 1 yard of fire line or wildfire and thread your needle on. Then you want to tie a knot in between the last bead, or that very first bead you threaded on, and your bead bumper. And you'll want to leave yourself a little bit of a good sized tail. I would say about 3 to 4 inches. Because when you get finished with the earring, you're actually going to tie the tail off with that piece. So, and you'll want to be careful and make sure you don't get that knot caught over the bead bumper or anything like that. And I normally put a couple of really good knots in here. Better safe than sorry. Okay, now I'll make sure that my bead bumpers are down next to my beads. And the reason you want to do this is we're actually going to be going under the hoop form here and back through beads. So with these little bead bumpers, it keeps your beads into place and they don't swag around. So the first thing you want to do, I'm going to use this as my color A here. I'm going to pick up 1A, 1 6mm bicone, 12A, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, and then 1 6mm bicone and 1 color A. Now I'm going to let those go all the way down to my base, and then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to count back 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4 beads on the base, and I'm going to put my thumb so that my beads won't move or I don't have any space between them. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go into the wire loop here, and the reason I'm holding my finger here is when I pull that thread, I don't want my beads to come up under the loop there. I want them to stay on the outside. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back through the A, the 6mm, and then the A right after the 6mm. And I'm going to pull. And when you pull, make sure your beads go between the 4 here. Okay, and I'm just going to continue. I'm going to pick up 12A, so I've got 12, I'm going to pick up 1 6mm and 1 color A. Now, from where my last 6mm is, I'm going to count 4 beads over on the base. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come in between that 4th and 5th bead there and pull the thread, and then take my needle and go through the A, the 6mm, and the A and pull. Again, I'm going to pick up 12 seed beads. One 6mm and 1 A. Let it drop down to my base here. And again, from my 6mm, count 4 beads on the base, and then take your needle and go in between that 4th and 5th bead. And you definitely have to get between that 4th and 5th bead or the pattern will not work right. So I'm going to go back through the color A, the 6mm, and the color A here. And pull it good and tight. Again, 12. A 6mm and 1 color A. I'll let it go down to the base. Again, from my last 6mm, count 4 over,